Okay, well, I just stopped one rant to start another, and yes, this one's called "Why Perfectionism is ruining my life, but I can't stop it." Which I came to this video title at the end of the last video I was making. I don't even know what I'm gonna fucking call it, but yeah, and so yeah, perfectionism is very horrible. It's very bad because when you're trying to achieve perfect, well, you can't achieve perfect. You're a human. Not only are humans not perfect, and they never will be. This is by design of a human. Not saying I know who designed humans or how they're designed, but you know what I mean. Nobody's perfect. Nobody literally can be. This isn't an excuse for you not to be as good as you can be. By the way, you shouldn't just roll over in life and be like, "Oh, my genetics." Shut the fuck up. You know, like that's no, not an excuse. But yes, you can't ever reach 100% the best in like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't make the perfect song or the perfect video, or, you know, there's always something. And this is also because everyone has different opinions, and what one person likes, a person might not like. And yeah, I guess that's another reason why perfect as a universal standard will never be recognized. That's also another cool video title for this one. But what was I even saying? Yeah, perfectionism ruins stuff because by design we are imperfect creatures, and this means that we cannot create perfect products. So yeah, we're imperfect beings. We can't create perfect products, but because we can't, when we try to, it makes everything worse because we try to achieve a goal that is impossible to reach. You know. Yeah, it just isn't happening. It's not something you can do. So I think everyone knows. Like, I think most people realize perfectionism is bad, and if you didn't realize, you probably realize now from just that blanket statement. But the reason why I can't stop it is because it's a core fundamental part of me that, you know, I wish it wasn't there, but it is. And I'll give you an example. For example, school. I fucking hate school. It's dog shit. I'm not even gonna finish it. That's a whole topic for another day. Whatever. But school, right? So say there's a fucking 800-word English assignment on some bullshit movie or whatever. Well, I will go into it being like, okay, I don't give a fuck about this, and I do truly not give a fuck about it. And then I will start writing or whatever, and I guess I can only either put a 0% effort in or 100%. Like, I can put like 0% effort into an assignment and get like a fucking C, and I'll be like, good, that's good. Or my natural perfectionism will come in, and it's like, I'll start writing the assignment, like, okay, I have to get this done, but like, while writing it, I will make it as perfect as possible without me trying. Like, I won't consciously, like, I won't be consciously doing this. Like, I'll be proofreading a bunch of times. I'll be checking all the words. I'll be going like, oh no, I could actually say this word better. I could say, instead of saying because I could say this, oh no, what if I added this line? This line's better. Let's delete this line, etc. And the thing is, I do this all without realizing. Like, I came into this thinking I don't give a fuck. I also do not give a fuck. But at the same time, when I actually have to do something, I do it to the best of my ability every time, and I fucking hate it. Because most things, I don't want to say everything, majority of things in life do not need to be done to the best of your ability. A lot of things you can give 20% and they'll give you 80% back, okay? Like, fucking hell. And so whenever I get a low grade on an assignment, whenever I get like a C or something, I actually fucking, like, I'm happy. That actually makes me happy, because it means I've managed to defeat perfectionism. And that links back to that I have to either spend 0 or 100. I can either only give 100% effort or like 0% effort, because in between, it doesn't matter how much I want to give 20% effort to this thing, how much I want to give 50% to this effort, 50% effort to this thing, it just doesn't pan out. I, like, without realizing, it becomes 100% effort. So that's like an example of how I do it. Hopefully you understand. If you don't understand, oh well, if you do, that's great, I guess. But yeah, that's an example of how I almost said I am perfect. Nope. How I perfect everything accidentally without realizing. Now, and why it's ruining my life is because it makes me spend so much mental resource on stuff. Because if I'm giving everything in my life 100%, well, there's only 100% of me. You know what I mean? There's only a limited amount of me that I can do. So if I'm always spending my most effort on everything, then everything will just eventually end up collapsing because there's not enough resources of me to go out there. Which is why you need to spend 20% of this, 50% of this, 40% of this, and then leave some for yourself. But I can't do that. Like, I wish I could. I've tried my best before. And it's not just like you say you can't, so you can't do it. No, like, I've literally gone, okay, I can do 20% of this, and then I do 20% on it, and it turns to be 100 because of I do it without realizing. Okay, sorry I got interrupted there. What was my tangent on? I think it was about why it's ruining my life, right? Let me just hear it. Oh yeah, I was saying how I do stuff, I do 100 without realizing, and it's not just because I say I can't. It's like, I can say I can believe I can, and then I try to do it, and then it doesn't work. So I just learn from experience and learn to accept it, because acceptance is one of the most important things you can actually learn in your life. Might make another video on that one, just because of certain things in life that you have to accept before they can actually get any better. I think that's even first stage of and that's first stage, but one of the first healing stages of grief or whatever, is acceptance. But because you can't move on until you accept something. So if you constantly say that if you constantly lie to yourself about something, well, it's going to be there, but you keep lying to yourself, so you keep deluding yourself, you keep telling it it's not there. So if you accept it, then you accept that it's there, and then you can decide what to do afterwards. So that was probably just an acceptance thing video in a nutshell, but I'm trying to keep on track. It's so hard for me to keep on track at anything I ever do, so I'm trying to keep on track with the perfectionism thing I was talking about. So yeah, perfectionism, and so that is one reason why it's ruining my life, because I'm spending 100% on everything, or either zero, and I can't spend 100% on everything because I don't have enough. I only have 100% of me. But also, another thing is, for example, videos. If I didn't have the perfectionist quality, you would be receiving a lot more videos from me without an editing team or anything. Just me solely doing videos, you'd receive a lot more. You'd receive at least 2 to 3 more uploads a month of the same quality, every month, type shit. My YouTube would be so much better. It would be so much better for the viewers, because they would be able to watch more videos and get more content. My brain would be so much better because I'd be outputting so much more, and I would be doing the same amount of work, but I'd be outputting more, just be feeling better and not stuck on certain points. But yeah, because for example, in a video, my brain will perfect the most minute thing for every detail in the video. And I do it without realizing, the text, for example. If I have to put it in a spot, I will have to put it in the exact right arbitrary spot that my brain deems as good enough to be seen. Whereas, say I just need to put it in the top left corner. No person will just put it in the top left corner. But me, I will look it up, be like, okay, so if there's this much here, and this much here, and this much in the corner, and this much here, and there's this fucking line here, that means I have to put it around here, and then for the next 5 minutes, I'll be adjusting it until it's perfectly, to my eyes, to my arbitrary limit, in the top left corner. Whereas, then I spent a lot of mental resource on that. That's another thing people don't talk about, is mental resource, because your brain only has so much mental capacity. I spent a lot of mental resource on doing that. I spent physical time, 5 minutes, on 3 lines of text that I had to put on the top left screen, that could just take you 10 seconds. So you write it up, you write the dun dun dun, and then you put it up in the top left corner, boom, done. But for me, it took me 5-10 minutes to do that, for example. And then, a viewer, here's the thing: perfectionism not only doesn't make a video better quality, it can sometimes make it worse quality, and you spend more time on it, which is just why it's so fucked. But if a person is watching the video of a normal person who just slapped it in the top left corner, it may be a very slight amount off center or whatever, but it doesn't matter. They put it a rough amount. Well, all it needs to be there, say it's a number counter, it says 10 out of 87, right? all they need to know, all the viewer, all they need to know is that there's 10 out of 87, whatever's happening in the video, right? And then when 11 comes, they just change it to 11. When 12 comes, it's so that it's like a constant number on the screen that's saying 12 out of 87, 13 out of 87. So it's counting something for them. Like, that's all they need to know, is that there's, like, the number is what's important, not, yeah, that's what, like, the number's important. The 13 out of 87, that's important. What the actual content of what is on the screen right there is important. Not where it's positioned. It could be in the left, it could be in the left, it could be in the upper right, it could be the upper left, it can be the bottom right, it can be the middle of the fucking screen, it could be the bottom, it could be the center up, center down. Nobody gives a fuck as long as it's on the screen and it's keeping there. That's what's important. That's what the viewer will be able to appreciate every time they look at it and they see it's there, and they'll appreciate because the viewer doesn't have to keep the running tally of whatever in their head. It's on screen. So that's a mental resource they don't have to do. So it's on screen. They'll appreciate it. So you see, like, that's the important thing, but perfectionism will make the unimportant important, which just ruins it. That is just like one example. And the thing is, I have hundreds of images and hundreds, I wouldn't say hundreds of text. I reckon, well, actually I would have hundreds of characters, but like, say if every time I put text on screen, it's an average of 3 to 7 words, right? I have hundreds of those 3 to 7, like 10s, 20s, 30s of those, maybe even up to 50s and longer videos of those 3 to 7 pieces of dialogue, and hundreds of images up on my screen, up on every one of my videos, and every one of those hundreds of images and 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s of text and everything, they are always perfected by me, and I do this without realizing, and I hate it, and it runs. And the thing is, that was just locating the text on the screen. That was just putting it in position. I didn't even mention getting the right font and thickness of the stroke. That is already done every time by a preset. I'm so lucky. That would add an extra 10, I'd shave another 20 years of my life. But yeah, so that's just the location. I didn't even mention typing what's in the text. Usually that's not too much of a problem for me, but like sizing the text, that's also another one. And guess what? Once I've also sized it and located it after 20 fucking minutes, I have to animate it. And I very slightly. I do this more with images now, but it's like where it'll, instead of it just being on the screen, it will have like a slight pop onto the screen, like a slight fade, like a slight boop. I can't represent this visually because I'm representing it visually with my hand, but I don't have a camera, so you can't see. But you just have to stoop to my autistic level and just hope that your brain renders what I'm trying to say. But like when I put the image on the screen, it has a boop. Oh, I'll use the sound effect. So I go, and then it has a little animation putting the image on the screen, and then when I take the image off the screen, it has a little visual, like a little visual, like a little visual, and then I also have to do the sound effects and everything. But so yeah, it has a little zoop and a little visual, and that's just like a 0.5 animation where it slowly goes on and off, but it's actually really quick because it's 0.5 seconds or whatever, which just makes the video flow nicer. And I can eliminate a lot of that with presets, but I still have to do that for every single image and text, which, because of the perfectionism thing, it means I focus on the little animation itself and perfecting that, and perfecting the exact, there's another fucking plane going over this time, but the little, exact where it is, instead of, the important thing is that it actually just comes on the screen and goes off. I put the animations to make it smooth better, and it also reaches the arbitrary limit in my brain of it being good enough for a viewer to see, even if they don't give a fuck if there's an animation or there's not. I have to do it for myself because otherwise I won't. I just already said that, but I focus not on the image, it just being that, it just popping and off on the screen and popping off really quickly. I meticulously go, okay, it doesn't matter if it takes 0.4 seconds to come on screen, or 0.5 or 0.45 or 0.445. That doesn't matter, as long as it's not too big or too slow, like a big notable. If as long as it doesn't go like it takes that long to come on the screen, and as long as it doesn't take that long to get on screen, then nobody's going to notice if it's 0.6 or 1 second or even 2 seconds. That doesn't matter, but I will fixate on that, then it will add so much more time to it. And that's just like 2 examples or whatever. And as I said, there was hundreds of images and stuff throughout a video, and that just takes up so much mental. It makes editing so draining for me, even though I enjoy it. It makes it so draining. It takes up so much time, like physical time wasted, mental energy spent wasted, and everything. And then, as I said, it can actually make a video worse, because instead of focusing on the actual content of, say, for example, the number count being on the screen and being present enough, big enough for the viewer to see it, it's like just it being on the screen for the viewer to see. Instead of focusing on that, I focus on where on the screen it is, how it's positioned, how the fucking, is it centered, is it this, is it that. It doesn't matter if it's slightly out of, like, bro, sometimes I go on Wollygog's stream and I look at it and I'm like, I'm so glad you can do that. I'm so glad you could stream it. If I had streamed what is on your screen right now, I would fucking have a stroke. I would have an aneurysm and die in my chair. Because, for example, he has a member count, so he has 81 out of 100 or whatever the fucking the member count is on his screen. He just puts it on a screen. He puts it anywhere he feels like, and it is never aligned. It is never aligned on the screen. It is never centered. It is never anything. And the font, the size is just whatever he randomly felt like putting it out. He just does that. He just randomly smacks something on the screen. It's just there. Nobody complains about it, because guess what? It doesn't matter where it is on the screen. To him, it's fine. To everybody in the hundreds of people in chat, nobody says a word. So, but if it was on my stream, I'd have to perfect it and stuff. Like, and my point there is that I spend so much extra time doing stuff that I don't need to, but like, how do I say this? Like, I'm trying to get a point out. I'm not finding the words to say it, because I never find the fucking right words to say shit. But like, yeah, like, I could just slightly misalign something. I could just type something and just smack it in the left corner. Not even those people that nitpick every video, not even they would realize that it's sort of 0.05 millimeters off the edge. Because if Wollygog can put his thing so off-centered that it's like alarmingly off-centered, and it doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is, I already discussed why it doesn't matter, is because what matters is that it's on the screen, not where it is on the screen, that it's on the screen. Like, he puts on the screen, and it's fine for him, and it's fine for everyone in chat, because they look at it, they don't go, oh wait, this is off-centered very slightly, we put a ruler up here at 0.3 millimeters this side, but 4 centimeters this side. That's very, very out of place, Mr. Gog. I'm disappointed. Nobody fucking does it. They just come to the stream to watch him play Stardew, and then they see a number on the screen, and they go, that's a number on the screen, thanks for putting the tally up there, so I don't have to add that to my mental weight. You see what I mean? Like, but the thing is, and it's not just like, but yeah, it's like something from my brain I can't remove. Like, every time I said, as I go on a stream, I look at it, and it's like it gets circled in my brain, and there's a big red arrow going, like, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what I mean by I would have a fucking stroke and an aneurysm, and I would die in my chair if I put that on my stream, because I actually cannot look at, like, basically, I'm just not neurotypical. This is basically, this video is not what I'm trying to say with this video, but like, that slight thing, it just is so off-putting to me that I can't do it. And the thing is, eventually, after like 5 minutes, I probably just watch a stream and I just kind of forget about it. I kind of forget about it's offline. I just kind of go, oh yeah, he got some gifted subs. He updated it to 85 out of 100. And I don't even think about it being misaligned. So I don't know, maybe with editing, but you can't really do that with editing, because it's like, you can't really do that with editing, because it's like, you can't mindlessly watch your own edit for 5 minutes, because you are the one editing, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, if I'm editing a piece of work, I'm not watching, like I'm putting the text here, I'm doing that, like I can't just mindlessly watching it because I can't watch it because I am doing it. I don't know if that makes any sense. That's just a side rant for the, random other people out there that are brain dead like me that can understand what I'm saying. But yeah, yeah. So that's hopefully that's you get now why perfectionism is a bad thing. Why it's in my life. Why I wish I could remove it, but I can't. Why it's a part of me, and why it's like a bad thing. But I have to accept it. And also, I made, like, I remember I probably had a small discussion about this a while ago before, and I even managed to do some little changes to it. Like, for example, with text, I don't know, background footage. Every section, because my videos are usually long and they have big section, like 3-minute sections also, and there's like a lot of them. So what will happen is, for background footage, I'll use a different background footage for and I mean every thing. Like, I think the Jasper Linus video, go watch it. Every section, there's like, I don't know, fucking 6 or so, whatever, I don't even remember. Every section, even though it doesn't need to be, has different background footage. There's different level with the mine, there's Skull Cavern, there's probably different places in the game. There's even Stardew Valley expanded footage. And guess what? I could have just gone to the mines for 10 minutes, videos, like, okay, 20 minutes. I could have gone to the mines for 20 minutes, shaved off like the 4 or so minutes I don't need for the video, and just stuck that there, and nobody would have complained, nobody would have anything, like, nothing would have happened. But that arbitrary limit in my brain I reached it for that video. And the thing is, luckily I don't do that anymore. With background footage, I can slap it there and just let it fuck off. I've somehow managed to break that arbitrary barrier in my brain. So that is one out of the very many things that stop me from uploading videos and perfectionism and everything. And with text, I don't really give as much of a fuck about it anymore. With its like autistic positioning, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that as much anymore, even like subconsciously, like that kind of thing. I kind of go, okay, it should be about the size, and it should be about here. Like, I've managed to break down a lot of that barrier. Sometimes when people like me, they have bad days, good days, like worse days, better days, worse days, where their conditions better, where brains working better, brains like working worse, and it's like some days everything is just too much for you. Some days you can just pass by things, so maybe when I'm having a quote unquote bad day, I can edit a video, and some subconsciously, some things like the text and stuff, I can just put it about here. But on a bad day, I'll meticulously have to put it here. Maybe that's just an extra thought I just thought of, but it's a good point. But so why perfectionism is bad, why it's my life. I wish I could remove it and everything, but I can't. And I've accepted that's what I am. And once I've accepted it, I can slowly break down some parts of it. Like, as I said, the background footage, I've broken that arbitrary limit in my brain. I can break some of the text stuff. There's some stuff with the animation stuff and billions of other stuff that may never get over the barrier. Some stuff that I may never get over, but that's okay. I don't know. So I guess that explains this is not the only reason why it takes me so long to make videos. This is like at least one part. It's at least a quarter, a third, or a sixth. It's like a huge chunk, but not. It's a fairly big part, but not the only main. I've looked at a lot of other issues and stuff with it. Actually, no, this is probably half of it, I reckon. This is actually a really big chunk of it, because if I write the script, I edit the video, I record the video, I thumbnail. This means that this perfectionism thing happens for every little detail at every one of these stages. So that actually probably is the main reason. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to make the ADHD video soon, or start the video series, or whatever, soon, because that links a lot into this and explains a lot of why I do the thing, like why my brain's like this and everything. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this rant. I have no idea how long it is and everything. I'll probably just slap some Stardew footage. I might listen to it back. Maybe. I just won't even edit it. Okay, I'll have to not edit it, like the voice, at all. Otherwise, I will meticulously edit every time I breathed, or every time I left a 2 second gap, even though getting rid of the 2 second gaps actually probably makes the video feel less authentic and worse. Perfect example of perfectionism bullshit. Anyway, I need to edit the video. I need to not edit. Fuck, end the video, or it's just gonna go forever. Yeah, some rants here, some rants for tomorrow, rants the next day. This is a rant channel. There's some fucking, I don't. This is. I don't even remember what this. I don't even know what the channel will be called yet or anything. But there's gonna be a lot of content on this. There's gonna be a lot of content on this channel. Let's just say that.